Super pumped to talk about this. One of my favorite things to do because it's just not being spoken of by your doctor most of the time. It's not their fault they weren't trained in this. And like you said, I came from mainstream medicine. I have a medical doctorate degree from the University of California, San Diego, 20 plus years ago. And we just didn't talk about this stuff. In fact, in those days, they called it alternative medicine, alternative medicine.
Welcome to the Jennifer J. Hammond Podcast. Jennifer is a licensed realtor, educator, speaker, and best-selling author. Jennifer's goal is to help you find your yay in every day.
Hello, it's Jennifer J. Hammond, and I'm so excited. As you know, I always want to help you make good decisions in real estate, but specifically for real estate agents right now, I want to say aloha, Thomas. Aloha. We are so excited. We have Dr. Thomas coming here from Hawaii right now, but he's going to share with us 5 powerful practices to avoid disease and build unshakable health. But particularly, you have to know that he comes from mainstream medical. He has this medical degree, but he wasn't taught the homeopathic, the natural ways. How do you prevent disease? So I welcome so much. I'm so excited. And this is a topic I love to talk about. So thank you for being here.
Oh, Jennifer, such a pleasure to be here. Super pumped to talk about this. One of my favorite things to do because it's just not being spoken of by your doctor most of the time. And it's not their fault they weren't trained in this. And like you said, I came from mainstream medicine. I have a medical doctorate degree from the University of California, San Diego, 20 plus years ago. And we just didn't talk about this stuff. In fact, in those days, they called it alternative medicine, alternative medicine. And I actually took a course in that. And I was kind of like the black sheep of my class. I was like, who are these guys taking the alternative medicine course? But now, thankfully, now we're in a different world. In 2022, there's so many more options available, so much more knowledge about these natural strategies that are basically all free. Everything I'm going to talk about today is essentially free. And I think your realty colleagues will get a kick out of some of these simple steps. And so let's just get into it if that's okay.
Let's dive in.
All right.
What do we do?
Yeah, number one, and this is first and foremost, I always put this at the top of my list, is we need to treat our food as medicine. In fact, Hippocrates, 2000 plus years ago said that let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. And this is something we've actually lost track of because we have so many things available to us 24/7, not only if we're on the road, the convenience stores, the drive-thrus, all these kinds of things, but at our very own home, right? We got a refrigerator, we have a pantry, we got access to food 24/7, which is not the way we grew up, if you will, 100 years ago, even like forget the thousands of years ago, where of course we didn't have these things. Even 100 years ago, we didn't have these conveniences. And I think we've traded a lot of convenience things for healthy things. And so number one is food first, food as medicine. It can either be the best possible medicine ever, or it can be a slow poison. And we get to pick each and every day, most of us at least 3 times a day. In realtors, because you're on the go all the time, you're reaching for quick snack things, this and that, whatever happens to be in your car, in your purse. And so the first thing I would say is just start with real food. It has to be real food. If you choose real food and look for quality real food, you can never go wrong. Okay.
So I'm going to interrupt you just for a second. Yeah. I love that you use that comparison though, because the food is either poison. So it's either helping you or it's hurting you. And I think that that's also true. Like with our neighborhood, we talk about all the time, every neighborhood is either getting better or it's getting worse. Because as you know, nothing in this universe stays exactly the same. So it's either a negative or a positive for you. So is that neighborhood getting better? The same thing with your food. Is it something that's helping you get better? Or is it something that's actually making you deteriorate and cause disease, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so food first is always my mantra. And there's a couple of quick little items. In fact, like for you guys that are on the go a lot, instead of packing something that comes already packaged in a bag or a box or with a barcode, like I refer to as the 3 B's that we're trying to avoid, try to pack something that's real food, like an apple or a handful of berries that you put in a little Tupperware. And, just something that's actually food. My favorite, actually, I brought it just as a prop, and you may not be able to get this where you are, this particular brand, but this is a Hawaiian-based macadamia nut company, which has only 2 ingredients. One is the nuts themselves, the macadamia nuts. The other is sea salt. And one thing that most people don't know about nuts is that often they're quote unquote roasted. And I would try to avoid almost anything roasted because they put a bad, harmful oil in it. Like, for example, canola oil or cottonseed oil or sunflower, safflower, soybean oil. Those are all bad. They're super inflammatory. So just choose the nuts that are either raw or maybe salted and not with any of these oils. So that's a quick snack item.
So people say that what about macadamia nuts? I heard that macadamia nuts have too much, too much fat
Lots
in
of fat, lots of fat, but it's all good fat. It's natural
good fat.
It's
like avocado fat.
Yeah, like I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen the book by Dr. Mercola called Fat for Fuel. Like literally fat, especially if it comes from natural fat like avocados, macadamia nuts. This is actually healthy fat. This is what our body loves. This is what actually we can use for lots of energy. These are energy dense snacks, which will tide you over for hours. Because if you reach for, that protein bar, that granola bar, whatever that is, that'll give you a quick fix for maybe 1 hour, maybe 90 minutes. And then it actually leaves you with a big crash, because what happens is your blood sugar goes up when you eat the carb, and then it crashes down to a lower low. And then you feel kind of like, oh crap, I need that extra energy. I need to reach for a second snack. And that doesn't happen if you reach for a handful of nuts or, natural food items like berries or maybe even an apple. The apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, the reason that's a good fruit is because it's got a lot of fiber in it. It has carbs, yes, but they're natural carbs, which come with fiber. So real food. My favorite snack is the macadamia nuts. There's actually a great on-the-go beef stick that comes from Paleo Valley. I don't get paid or sponsored by them, but I like them because they're protein based and it's a grass-fed and finished meat. So if you eat meat, it's a great snack. What I love to help people understand is if you can avoid what I call a food emergency, then you won't have to be thinking about, oh crap, I'm going to reach for whatever's the quickest thing, whatever is the drive-through that's next to this house that I got to show, or the one that is between this house and that house. You won't even have to be in that mindset because you'll take with you a couple of these snacks. Maybe it's one of these Paleo Valley beef sticks. Maybe it's a Ziploc with some nuts in it. Maybe, or maybe you have something even more fancy. Like this is a backpack, and I also don't get sponsored by them. It's by Corksicle, but it's an insulated backpack that you could throw in some refrigerated berries, or you could throw in even like your favorite, whether it's almond milk or whatever it is that your little, nice treat that you like that's actually from real food that's healthy, and you could have that on the go and keep it cold. And it's just like a little backpack. So like little things like that, if you plan ahead, your day will go so much smoother. Number one, you won't have to think about, oh crap, I only got 30 minutes between this showing and that showing. What am I going to quickly snack on? You've already done that step. You got it ready for yourself in the morning with your little Tupperware of berries or with your handful of nuts, whatever that is, or even my alternate is a protein shake. There's a lot of really great protein shakes out there that can be literally mixed on the go with even my favorite thing with just water. There's a couple you can reach out to me. I can recommend a couple different brands because they're not all created equal, but that's a great thing to fill that void. And you can pack your day with protein. Protein is one of the best things to be eating throughout the day, because not only does it energy dense and gives you energy, but you don't get hungry right away. It kind of, satiates a little bit. So protein is great. Those are my top kind of 4 things that I would recommend, is have some snacks ready to go that are all real food based, that are healthy, they're easy. They don't have to be refrigerated necessarily, and you can take them wherever you go. So you avoid a food emergency. You don't want to get into a food emergency.
I agree.
First and foremost.
First and foremost. Okay, so we got 5, so we got to keep going. So we
got to keep going. But the other thing that goes along with that is just make sure you have plenty of water, because oftentimes our bodies confuse that sensation of, crap, am I hungry or am I just thirsty? Those signals get mixed up all the time in our little hypothalamus of the brain. And so the first thing you should reach for if you're feeling hungry is just drink a full glass of water. I love to use glass. You can use aluminum as well. I try not to use plastic because plastic emits all kinds of things that we don't have time to talk about today, but that are not healthy for you, the xenoestrogens. But drink plenty of water. Always have hydration with you. If you have one of those little Corksicle things, you can put cold water. I love to drink cold water, and you're in Florida, you'll probably like cold water as well. But such a refreshing thing. Okay, so the next one is movement. This is my favorite because not only do you feel happier when you move your body, like there's natural endorphins and kelpins, but there's almost more health benefits than any other of these strategies other than food. Food is number one. You can never outrun the end of your fork. Food is the most important. But movement is second to none. I mean, it's so dang important. And what I was thinking about for realtors, especially, like you guys typically show up before a client to the house or whatever, you're doing a little bit of a perimeter sweep. You're kind of looking to make sure things are in order. Maybe show up a couple minutes early and just go for a walk in the property or in the neighborhood. You get a good feel of the neighborhood yourself. And that just couple of minutes of walking, you'd be surprised at the end of the day, like how many steps you have. The more just simple things like walking that you can incorporate into your day is super helpful. The second thing with movement that I love so much, and it sounds crazy, cheesy, and corny, is convert your desk into a standing desk with a shoebox, with an Amazon box or whatever. I always stand when I'm at work. I'm standing talking to you right now. And I love to stand because I can move my body and you get the blood flowing, that lymph that's so important to have flowing in your body so you don't stagnate. And it just increases your energy. And literally you can change that with just a cardboard box you can put on your desk, put your laptop on top of that. It's one of the easiest things you can ever do and basically free. So movement is amazing. Simple tricks. I keep at my desk as well. I know this sounds kind of cheesy, but this is the truth. I keep a couple of dumbbells at my desk because you guys are on your computer a lot. And if you just take like 2 minutes, like everybody has 2 minutes every hour, and just lift a couple of dumbbells or do some standing squats or, there's so many different activities you can do just literally at your desk every hour, and they will increase your energy, increase that mental kind of positive outlook, the endorphin and kelphin rush. And it's just dang good for you. We've all heard that thing, sitting is the new smoking. Well, it's true in that the more we sit, the more likely we're going to be at risk for all the chronic diseases, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, all that. So just move your body a couple minutes every hour. All right. Next one, which I know for realtors is really hard, is sleep. You're so dang busy. You're literally on your computer up until the late hours of the night, planning the next showing, making sure you have the comp sheets and all this kind of stuff dialed in for the next day. So here's the thing with sleep, there's no compromise. You actually need your sleep. And I was the worst offender of this for so many years as a physician. It was kind of beat out of us because sleep was considered for the weak, right? If you sleep more than like 4 to 6 hours a night, you were considered weak, and you might be missing something because you could be doing something in that extra couple of hours. And I've completely repented from that. I actually cherish my 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I try to safeguard it. And the best way to do that is to put it in a schedule, like literally have a reminder pop up on your phone at whatever that hour might be, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, that says, okay, bedtime reminder. And you put your phone down. And this is super hard for realtors. Put the phone down, put the screen down. I used to preach what I call the 3-2-1 approach. And I found it's just too hard for most people. 3 hours before bed, you got to have a food curfew. So you stop eating. And this is super healthy for so many different reasons, but we can talk about that later. But 3 hours, you put down your food. 2 hours, I used to say put down the screens, but that's just too hard for most people. So I kind of changed it to, instead of a 3-2-1, a 3-1-1, which is basically 3 hours, you stop eating. 1 hour before bed, you turn off your screens, whatever that screen might be, doesn't matter. Your TV, your phone, your laptop, it's all got to go off. And then use that last hour as like a prep time mentally, both for the next day and to keep yourself in a good state. So either a gratitude journal, a little bit of a meditation, relaxing music, sit in a hot tub, like whatever that relaxing thing is for you, try to do that. For me, I just love to read at night, something that's totally unrelated to, medicine or health. I like to read just different books that are usually they're positive books. I'm reading a book now called The Prayer Circle, which I just find fascinating. I'm not a super religious guy, but the guy that wrote it, like, he's an amazing writer, and just the way that he articulates things, it's totally out of my wheelhouse. So I just love to have some kind of a unwind, kind of relaxing thing at the end of the day, and reading a book is great. Okay, the next one is stress. We all have tons of stress, right? Especially realtors. You're like, oh my gosh, I got to get to this appointment at this time. I got to have all this stuff planned out. And like, guess what? All of us have stress, right? Especially the last 2 years, our stress has gone through the roof. And the cool thing is, at the end of the day, what decides if this is going to be negative towards our health and our health outcome or positive lies right here between our ears. Like, we literally get to decide that. It is so powerful, the meaning that we attach to it. There's a giant study of almost 200,000 people in 2012 that literally articulated this. People got to choose if they had low stress, moderate stress, or high stress. And the group that was in the high stress, yes, a portion of them had negative health outcomes, but it was only the portion of those that believed in their mind, that believed that the stress was bad for them. The group that also had high stress, that believed that stress could be positive. It could be a growth promoting experience. Like in this last couple of years, we've all had to pivot in some way, shape, or form with things that have changed during the pandemic. If we use that as a growth opportunity and we pivoted, like that stress actually became a force for us to actually propel ourselves forward and change something about either our life or our business or whatever it is. And it became a positive growth experience. But we just have to remember, right here rests the answer, right between our ears. We get to decide each and every day if it's going to be a great day. I wake up and I say, hey, today is a great day for a great day. Like literally life does not happen to us. It happens for us. So it's all right here between the ears. And then there's, obviously a whole list of things that we can do to decrease stress: meditation, breathing, walking, movement, connecting with people, connection, like groups. You guys as realtors, maybe you have some kind of like fun realty group that gets together and just chit chats once a week or whatever it is. Have some kind of connection that boosts this happy hormone called oxytocin, which is literally the anti-stress hormone.
And we do, as real estate agents, we're actually really good at getting together for all sorts of our evening, I would say, events. And sometimes they're happy hours with alcohol. Sometimes they're just getting together for networking. And I think that's one thing we actually somehow, like when it's hot, you have these ice cream happy hours or other things around food, which is good. And one of the things that you found is that most people have said, please, let's not just have all junk food. We want to have it around food that's good for us too, like potlucks where everybody brings something they really love from, their favorite food tradition. So I agree. I think you got it. And then we get to laugh. And I think it's part of what makes us happy.
Is the best medicine. And you know this better than anybody with your yay philosophy.
Yay.
I didn't even mention this yet, but literally, if you decide that you're going to be one of these yay people like Jennifer is, and I try to be that way myself, that will actually not only increase your energy throughout the day, like happy people. I mean, just, you can look at her and I, we're smiling like crazy. And this is just, it's energizing. It's energizing to smile, but also it actually will add 7 to 10 years to your life. It's actually one of the simplest big bang for the buck that you can do to increase not only what I call, your traditional lifespan, but your health span. How many years you actually are healthy, able to do the stuff that you want to do, because that's what we care about, right? We don't want to be living to 100 years old if we're in a care home the last 25. Like that doesn't even make sense. We want to literally be doing the stuff that we love, whether it's out showing homes to people, out with our kids, grandkids, friends, family, like whatever that is, walking our dog. We want to do that till the day that we die. And one of the best ways is just the happiness factor, the joy, like literally smiling and laughing. And, there's a whole laugh medicine concept that is, happy yoga, the laughing yoga, like all this kind of stuff that it's actually the cool part is there's now data on this stuff. It's not just that kind of like voodoo kind of, it's just what happy people say. Like there's actually tons of data on this now, which is awesome. And I love the data. I love to share that. And so huge bang for your buck is be like Jennifer, be a yay person.
Be a yay person. Yay!
Yeah, just start your day with the yay. Why not, right?
Start with the yay. I love that. And we're out of time. So I want to make sure people know how to get a hold of you. And we'll definitely have you back on, but definitely tell people how they can find out more about you.
Yeah, so easiest way is you can hop on over to my website, which is just thomashemingway.com. And on social media, I'm some version of Thomas Hemingway. On Instagram, for example, I'm probably more active there. It's Dr. Thomas Hemingway, and that's just Dr. Thomas Hemingway. And I spell my name just like Ernest, so that's one M. I know there's a lot of misspellings out there, but thomashemingway.com or Dr., which is Dr. Thomas Hemingway on Instagram, and then some version of Thomas Hemingway on LinkedIn, Facebook. You can find me. Just look for the doctor from Hawaii. There's only one of me that I know of by the last name of Hemingway. So pretty easy to find me. That sounds
perfect. Well, as you know, I love to end this episode with a yay. So I'm going to ask you to say yay with me, okay?
Absolutely.
So 3, 2, 1, yay! Perfect. Thank you, Thomas.
Hi, I'm Jack Canfield. You may know me as the co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. And if you want more help in getting from where you are to where you want to be, I want to encourage you to listen to the Jennifer Hammond Show